Have you ever wondered what happens after we die? It's a question that has haunted humanity since time immemorial. This great unknown, this unfathomable mystery, has been a constant companion to our species, whispering in our ear throughout our existence. It's a question that transcends boundaries and borders. From the youngest child to the oldest sage, from the frosty peaks of the Himalayas to the sunny beaches of California, it's a shared curiosity, a universal pondering. Every culture, every age, every individual has at some point looked up at the starry sky and wondered about the nature of life and death. This curiosity has led to an incredible array of beliefs and theories, each one unique and fascinating in its way. From ancient myths to modern science, from philosophical musings to religious doctrines, the answers are as diverse as humanity itself. So, come with us on a journey through time and culture, as we explore the many answers to this age-old question. Imagine a civilization that built monumental pyramids to honor their dead, the ancient Egyptians. They held a fascinating vision of what occurs after our last breath. They believed in a soul's journey that began in this life and continued into the next. The soul, or Ka, was thought to travel through a perilous underworld, facing monstrous creatures and challenging trials. But the most critical part of this journey was the weighing of the heart. In this divine judgment, one's heart was balanced against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and order. If the heart was as light as the feather, it indicated a life well lived, allowing the soul to reach the field of reeds. This was a heavenly realm, an idyllic version of their earthly life, where they could live eternally amidst lush green fields, under the benevolent gaze of the sun god Ra. For the ancient Egyptians, death was not an end, but a continuation of life. Now let's travel to the land of mystics, India. Here, the concept of life after death is deeply entwined with the belief in reincarnation, a cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, ruled by the law of karma. Every action, every thought, every word spoken in one's life impacts one's karma, shaping the circumstances of the next life. It's a cosmic debit and credit system, if you will, but the cycle of reincarnation isn't infinite. The ultimate goal of each soul is moksha, or liberation. This is the release from the cycle, the attainment of ultimate knowledge and bliss. It's like reaching the final level of a profound game, where the chains of birth and death are broken, and the soul merges with the divine. In the Indian philosophy, death is simply a pause, a moment of transition. It's not an end but a stepping stone towards the ultimate liberation, the eternal bliss of moksha. Moving forward, we arrive at the Christian belief of the afterlife. The Christian faith holds a dualistic view of the afterlife, with heaven and hell being the two eternal destinations. Upon death, Christians believe in a day of judgment, where one's earthly actions are evaluated. The righteous, those who have lived according to God's will, are believed to be granted eternal life in heaven. This paradise is often depicted as a place of peace, joy, and communion with God. It's a reward for a life well lived, according to the Christian faith. On the other hand, hell is the destination for the wicked. Those who have strayed from God's path and lived in sin are believed to face eternal damnation. Hell is often depicted as a place of torment and separation from God. In Christian belief, death is a moment of reckoning, a judgment of one's life. Now let's consider a perspective that doesn't involve any divine judgment or spiritual journey, the atheistic view. Atheism, in its simplest form, is the absence of belief in deities. As such, the atheistic interpretation of what happens after death is often starkly different from religious views. For many atheists, death is seen as the cessation of consciousness, the end of the physical and mental processes that make up our existence. There's no heaven, no hell, no reincarnation. Instead, death is the final act, the curtain call. It's the end of the road, the ultimate sleep. There's a certain finality to it, but not without its own form of immortality. For atheists, our legacy lives on not through an eternal soul but through our actions, our contributions, and the memories we leave behind in the minds of those who knew us. For atheists, death is the end of the journey, the final sleep. As we have seen, the answer to what happens after death varies widely among different cultures and beliefs. Yet in this diverse tapestry of views, there's a common thread that binds us all: the notion of death as a significant transition. The ancient Egyptians envisioned a majestic afterlife, a realm where souls journeyed, weighed down by their earthly deeds. This belief underscored the importance they placed on morality and the consequences of one's actions in life. In the spiritual philosophy of India, we encountered the cycle of rebirth, or reincarnation. Here death is but a stopover, a pause before the soul embarks on a new life shaped by the karma of past existences. This perspective underscores the continuity of life, death, and rebirth, an eternal cycle that fuels the journey of the soul. The Christian view of heaven and hell presents a dichotomy, a final reward or punishment based on one's earthly life. This belief underscores the significance of moral choice, the ripple effects of our actions, and the hope or fear of what lies beyond. For atheists, death marks the end of consciousness, the cessation of our senses, thoughts, and experiences. This perspective underscores the preciousness of our finite existence, the urgency to make the most of our time, and the acceptance of death as a natural part of life. So, whether we perceive death as a journey to an afterlife, a cycle of rebirth, or the end of consciousness, it holds a mirror to our deepest hopes, fears, and values. It prompts us to ponder the mysteries of existence, the purpose of our lives, and the nature of our being. While the specifics may vary, the question of what happens after death continues to intrigue us, reminding us of our shared humanity in the face of the great unknown.